Hello and welcome to the TCF Morning Show. It is Tuesday, January 14th. I am joined by Boomy at BoomyTCF on Twitter. You can follow me at ZLilja, LILJATCF. The main page is at typical_Chicago. Instagram, Facebook, type in typical Chicago fans and follow us on there. We post all of our YouTube videos and our podcasts on all the social medias. Like I said, go to YouTube, subscribe, go to our videos, like, comment. Let us know what you think on there, what kind of videos you kind of want to see us do on there. Maybe we could chop some videos up. Let us know throughout the TCF Morning Show and our podcast. Also, go to wherever you get your podcast from, type in Typical Chicago Fans, subscribe, rate, review, follow, whatever you got to do on there. Shout out to our sponsors, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddyotter.com. This beautiful mug right here was made by Hannah. In the lab that they're back in the lab after a little bit of a holiday break. The TCF logo right there with the Muddy Otter on the bottom there. So if you got something customized that you're then thinking about wanting to get made, hit them up on either their Facebook or Instagram. Maybe they can do that for you. It's Hannah and Mitch Prentice in the Lake of the Ozarks. Pottery, woodworking. Like I said, if you got some ideas, hit them up on their Facebook and Instagram, or go to themuddyotter.com and look at the products they got on there. Again, The Muddy Otter. Also, Score Trader. Go to Score Trader on the App Store. Download it. I think we're gonna have one more round. I'm guessing they're maybe gonna do something for the Super Bowl, but we got the championship, conference championship is how you'd say.
Yeah.
Conference championship round coming up here on Sunday, so I'm thinking maybe they'll have something for that. But if you want to get involved in that, go on to the App Store, Score Trader, make an account. It's free to play. $500 cash has been given out the last 2 weeks, and here is Pete going to tell you how we won some money and how you can win some money.
Score Trader NFL Divisional Round update. Unfortunately for the TCF Chicago team, we did not end up cashing this week. We did have Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson, but our big play, George Kittle, did not come through for us. So we came up empty this week. But for those who were wondering what Score Trader is a free-to-play new daily fantasy sports app with an entirely different spin on how you draft your team, how you draft your players. It is a stock market model where you pick your players during the week and you can trade them if they have a profit throughout the week, or you can sell them off, or you wait until the game and let your players ride, and then the top 3 players from each position, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, get scored much like they would in a traditional fantasy sports scoring system. And if you end up owning more players that get scored than the other people in the competition, then you end up winning some money or have a chance to win some money. So go ahead and download that Score Trader app, and you can follow them at Score Trader app on Twitter and Instagram. Again, Score Trader, a very different but very fun look at daily fantasy sports, a stock market approach as opposed to a salary cap approach. Very fun. Go check that out. That's Score Trader app on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you to Score Trader for partnering with Typical Chicago Fans and the TCF Morning Show.
Thank you to Pigoy. Go to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Score Trader. Go on there, follow them. All their stuff on there. They always retweet us. So go to Score Trader on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and follow all their accounts on there. Go to the App Store, download the app. Go to Score Trader, search Score Trader. Download the app. Free to play. Win some money on the TCF boys. But our first subject for tonight is the national championship game. Clemson loses 25-42. LSU is the national champions. And Z-Lil won some bets tonight. I had an alternate line. I was thinking about it. Minus 13.5. Ended up winning. It was plus 215, I think. I liked kind of looking at something like that. At first, I thought there was zero chance that was going to hit.
Yeah, it started off looking real bad for you there, buddy.
Started off looking real bad. But LSU comes out in the second quarter and scores 21 points. And they go on a run from there, not looking back. That first half, Boomy, I thought this game was going to get over at maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God, dude. We were texting about doing the show, and unfortunately Matt and Pigoy couldn't make it on tonight. And it's been a long day out here running around doing everything. And we were texting back and forth about doing the show. And I looked at my phone and it was 9:05 and there was still 2 minutes to go till halftime. And I was about to text you like, dude, I don't know if I'm going to make it up till 12:30 because that's honestly when I thought the game was going to get over.
I thought
they got to start that game earlier. They've got to start the game earlier. That's ridiculous. Think about it now. If you're on the East Coast, that game got done at right around midnight.
Unbelievable. Like I said, it was a lot of passing going on in the first half. That's why it was kind of seemed like. And you looked back, you look every 5 minutes, it felt like maybe a minute had gone off the game. It was just very slow, a lot of commercials. And then you knew the halftime was going to take a while. Not really either team's not much for running. LSU ended up doing that at the end of the game just because they wanted to run the clock out. But both teams had a lot of passes in that first half. I got a little nervous in the first quarter, still a little bit in the first half still. I didn't know what was going to – I thought Clemson was going to run away with the game at some point. I didn't know – or they were at least going to keep up with them because I also had LSU at -4.5. But look, Joe Burrow threw 49 passes. Trevor Lawrence threw 37 passes, a lot of passes between the two. Trevor Lawrence, 18 for 37. Under 50% percentage. Not
for a guy who threw for 463 passing yards. That's crazy.
And I wouldn't say that his receivers dropped a lot of passes either. I just was 18 completions is just not a lot there. 37 I thought was maybe kind of low. I thought he would, but they didn't have the ball for as long as you thought. I don't get this. How does he have a 48.6% passing percentage, but his rating is 101 point. I just don't get the passer rating.
No, I will never understand
the passer rating. I know my brain doesn't do well with math or anything, but this it doesn't make any sense. Joe Burrow, though,
we could take a master's course on passer rating, and
I'm
still
good.
never.
Well, that's because Joe Burrow is 63.3%. But his rating is 176.3. Like, what the hell?
I hate it, dude.
He had 463 yards, 5 touchdowns. 5 touchdowns for most likely going to be the number 1 pick in the draft. Heisman winner, Joe Burrow going out of his college football career, a national champion. Coach O wins a national championship. They win it at the Superdome in Louisiana. It's
a little unfair.
I mean,
LSU getting to play in New Orleans. Come on.
I get you, but if they, like, let's say,
I know the sites are determined like years and years in advance, but like there should be like a contingency plan that like
I get
if
it, but that's like
in 100 miles is in it, you can move the game.
But that would be like if Miami made it to the Super Bowl this year, they would have to change it. Like it's predetermined. You get to the game, that's what happens.
Yeah, but I have a better shot of an asteroid landing and hitting me in the nuts than the Dolphins.
But you understand what I mean?
Ever being in a Super Bowl.
But it's not like it was played at some random place. It was played at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So
yeah. No, I mean it was exactly what people expected, and that was a shootout. We're talking 628 total yards of offense for LSU, 394 total yards of offense for Clemson. But LSU's defense really showed up when it counted because, like you said, it got going early. I mean, Clemson looked like the Clemson they have been over the years, but LSU, never let it get to them. They bounced back. Like I said, I had the Clemson money line, just a couple bucks sprinkled here and there. And, it was one of those, I was like, 17-7, looking good. And I literally put my phone down and made, some dinner, and I looked at it and it was 25-17. I'm like, what the hell just happened here?
Yeah, but like what you said with the Clemson maybe getting at the home, or LSU getting the home field advantage. You think Clemson's the way more experienced team coming into this because they've been in the college playoffs for the last 4 years? You would think they would have more of an LSU. They weren't in it. They haven't been in the college playoff, have they?
I thought they did 1 year.
Maybe
I might
1
be
year.
wrong.
But you know what I mean? Their experience going into this game. Yes, LSU has the senior quarterback, but I thought Clemson. I stuck with Clemson with LSU. I stuck with them. I bet them all sorts of ways. I also took the over 66. Thank God I got it at 66. That was as close as you're going to get 67. If you had 67.5, I'm praying for you. But it kept creeping into my mind. Is Clemson, with the experience, maybe going to be able to win this game? Maybe if they're going to be able to keep it close. That's why I did not want to get into a back and forth scoring in this game. I didn't want Trevor Lawrence to go out and score, and then LSU go back and score. It seemed when finally LSU could finally get their defense going and get a few stops, that's when I got a little bit more comfortable. But I kept thinking, Clemson stays in this game. They are experienced enough. Even at the end of the game with Trevor Lawrence and that fumble, that was him trying to make a play. I know it kind of looks bad with the fumble, but he's just out there trying to get the yards, trying to get the first down, and they competed. That's why I thought if they stick in this game, they could do something because this team they're a good team. They're a good team.
And I'll give it to the NCAA. They got the two best teams, I think, at the end of the year. I think Ohio State.
Still would have been a good game. Ohio State
was a better team. What'd you say?
It would have been a good game. It would have been a good game.
Yeah, I agree. It would have been a similar game, though. I think LSU is probably 2 touchdowns better than Ohio State, but they got it right, and it was an entertaining game. But it goes back. We talk about time of possession. LSU dominated that by almost 10 minutes, and it really it showed that you don't win hardly any big football games if you don't dominate the time of possession. Another one jumped out. LSU punted 2 times less, so obviously more possessions. But I don't know, LSU just seemed like the better team tonight, and they came out and finally proved that after about a quarter and a half that it took them to get going. So
I mean, LSU though, they have some of the most amazing wide receivers I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, they're studs, man. They're gonna be. I'm worried about LSU next year, obviously playing in the SEC without Joe Burrow. I'm sure they got something lined up, but he's not going to be Joe Burrow. But you'll have to wait and see kind of what happens in the transfer portal and all that good stuff. So,
Jamar Chase, right? Jamar Chase.
Yeah,
he had 21 yards. 220. Let's see. I think I want to make sure I get this right. 221 yards, 2 touchdowns. His longest was 24 yards. That on 9 catches. That is a hell of a national championship game. CU in the first round.
The Jefferson kid, who's the one that's been talked about probably the most, 106 yards.
And then he's a sophomore. Can he come out if he's a sophomore?
It depends when he graduated.
Okay. I didn't know because I know Trevor Lawrence is going to be back next year.
Yeah.
I mean, on both sides, both teams just have stud wide receivers. I mean, LSU is just full of stud wide receivers. Jefferson, 106. Edwards, how do you say that? Edwards?
Hilaire.
54 yards. But just all around, I understand we have 2 great quarterbacks here, but they have some just the plays those wide receivers were making, the space they were getting. I understand you had the quarterback to make the plays, but it was just a fun game to watch. I really thought it was a fun game to watch.
And dude, and I know we've talked about this before, but like they have to do something different about the targeting thing, especially in the Final Four in the national camp. And I know it's the rule. I know they called it the way that it's written, but there has to be like when a team, and this goes all the way back to like Ohio State when Joey Bosa got in trouble and kicked out of the Final Four game, like you have to put in like almost like a 2-strike system. The first time you get caught with it, you're popped out of the game. You saw I think it was only like an 8-point game when Clemson's linebacker got thrown out of the game. It was 10. Okay,
I don't think it ever got to 8. I think it was 10.
Okay, but either way, I mean, and it's not even the fact that like I think if he's in the game, you win, but like when you're talking in a national championship game, you want to see the best player field at all times. And if you're going to implement a rule like that, you're just risking the chance of seeing the best players on the fields at all times. Like Joey Bosa got booted in like the first 10 minutes of the first quarter in that Final Four game. People don't want to see that. People don't want to see some second stringer, some redshirt sophomore. Like, come on, we can keep the rules and still, have a good sense of like we're doing the right thing, but we're also trying to put the best product on the field. This is something that I think that needs to be looked at, especially in the final, and maybe not the whole season, but Final Four game in the national championship.
But there'll also be people on the other side that say you got to call it the same way in national championship game than you would in the first game because it's the rules and this and that.
I know, and I also think it's a soft rule even to call. Like
Yeah.
I said, one time, like even if
But
like you slip and your head goes down or the crown, like then you're ejected from a game. There's only so many games in a season. It'd be different if it was baseball.
I get it, but
I just think it's a soft candy ass rule, to be honest with you.
I think I'm on the other side of that. I know we always want to go back and forth, but I also think that it needs you kind of need something like that because yes, I understand it was a big game, but
does it really that much harm if you make it a 2-strike system instead of just a 1 and you're gone?
I don't know. I guess maybe the NFL you
has
maybe look at that.
Like this is the first time he has been called for targeting, and I think that in the second one, then they get ejected. Like it seems to work in the NFL. Like why can't it work in college?
Yeah, but I don't think it's a bad rule to have to at least because it's not like they're going out there and making. Sometimes people will say that there may be some soft ones, but that was not a soft one. I still think that was he led with the crown of his head. It was to play, but those kind of penalties will always be discussed throughout time.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but LSU wins 42-25, national champions. Sadly, college football is over with. So no more college football. It's all over. That's just the saddest thing to say.
Basketball season's officially begun.
We have 2 more Sundays of the NFL and a Pro Bowl or whatever.
Woohoo.
And we're done with football for a while.
Hey, XFL, baby.
XFL. And guess what? We got baseball. And we also have cheaters. The Astros cheating cheaters. Punishment. The Astros were caught cheating. GM Jeff Luhnow,
I think, yeah.
and AJ Hinch, manager AJ Hinch, fired, first suspended 1 year, then fired. The Astros fined $5 million. I think you said they lost their first picks.
First and second round draft
picks. First and second round picks in the 20 and 21 draft. You are an idiot, first of all. Saying that they should lose all their draft picks. Dude, they would lose 40-something draft picks.
I'm all for that. And I'm not even saying like for both years. All I said is 1 year. You take away all their draft picks. Because and the reason I say this, and I'll justify why I think this, is because you have to bring the hammer down. And like there's people out there calling for like the World Series to get revoked. I don't want that. Like to me, it is what it is. Yeah. Like the revoking titles doesn't do anything. It's not like the end. Like people will remember that Louisville team won a national title.
I think what they'll remember is that AJ Hinch got fired the day he was suspended 1 year, and I think that looks worse. Who knows if they're going to get another job? Either of them will get another job in baseball. But the Astros. But the bigger news is Alex Cora, who's also a part of the Boston Red Sox cheating scandal, is still under investigation for that. So his punishment will come down after that one is done. And they said it's going to be harsher. Is that word harsher?
There's rumors on Twitter that you may see a lifetime ban for Alex Cora.
I don't see that happening. I could see maybe a 2-year ban, and then he'll most likely be fired and probably not be hired again.
Right.
But not a good look for anybody. Like I said, it's tough to – I'm kind of in the spot where it's kind of weird to say because, yes, they use technology and everything. It's bad. I think that using technology is cheating. But do you think it almost relates to steroids?
No, I think they're two separate. You're talking apples and oranges here.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But
I saw
but they also said just like
that tweeted about it.
I'm saying just like in a Hall of Fame, they don't let people who use steroids in. Most likely, these coaches that are getting caught in the cheating scandal won't be able to coach again.
Right.
Do you think that's going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? You think they'll be allowed back into the coaching tree, back into an organization, be trusted?
I think it's one of those things that is going to probably blow over. I don't want to say for certain. Like, give it 5 years, and I bet you see, AJ Hinch or Alex Cora, slowly working their way back into baseball. Yeah, something along those lines. I don't think they're going to be blacklisted the way they were with like Pete Rose and gambling and things like that.
Speaking of bench coaches, the Cubs have officially had on their coaching staff the last 2 clean World Series champion coaches, David Roberts and Joe Madden. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah.
The Cubs have supported the only two coaches that who won a World Series clean.
Definitely,
So
definitely.
the Cubs.
You mean Dave Martinez, right?
Did I say Dave Martinez?
Dave Roberts. No, he has
Dave
not.
Roberts is the coach in L.A., right?
That's
He
correct.
will never win a World Series.
No, dude, and that's the thing. Like, and that's why I said about the draft picks is like you have to like lay the hammer down because like we talked about a couple weeks ago, like technology is only going to continue to grow and grow, and if you punish these teams with their futures,
Yeah.
then you're going to deter teams from wanting to even try, like even remotely think about. And the reason that Alex Cora, I could see a lifetime ban. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen.
I don't think
but
so.
I could. I think it is a plausible idea. Is the fact that he was the one, at least from what the reports I've read, is that he was the one that was orchestrating it in Houston, left and did the same thing. So now that's two places, two World Series titles that are looking into that. And you have to grab the bull by the horns because if not, as technology continues to grow, teams are going to continue to try and use that to their advantage, and you want to stop that before it ever happens. So
I honestly think that you won't. I wouldn't. You would. I think a 5-year ban would be about as much as you would see because I think if you get a 5-year ban, that's pretty much a goodbye.
Yeah.
You probably won't get hired back after 5 years. But maybe a lifetime ban. You never know. They want
to. Here, honestly, the way if you look at it,
depends on how bad the Red Sox one was too. It depends on how bad that was, and how the investigation goes for that. And if it was
like one thing that I was thinking with Cora is like I said, you've got to nail him because the more and more it continues to grow.
The thing about the AJ Hinch thing is you hate to see it because I saw the Trevor Bauer video and
that was so funny.
And he's going on about how it's on Twitter and it's just the Twitter this and that and you're clearly cheating. Now you're caught. Now you're fired. You're probably never going to be a coach in Major League Baseball again. And there's just other stuff of him going on and on, whining about how people are accusing them of this and that. Well, that's because you did something wrong. That's because you did something wrong. And it's just the arrogance of the whole thing was the annoying part. And now I don't think anyone thought that this was going to happen. I don't think anyone, even in the Astros organization, thought that a year ban was going to come down. And I didn't think anyone thought that they were going to fire them either.
And now I'm curious, like if he were to get hired by someone, would he?
No,
like,
I think you have to. I think they had to sit out the year.
That's what I'm saying. So,
sure
like, if let's just say, for example, like the Colorado Rockies decided to hire AJ Hinch, he'd have to sit out a whole year.
I think it's a year ban. Like anywhere, if you're not in baseball or you are in baseball, I think it's the year.
So if he sat out 2 years and got hired, he could coach right away.
Well, if he just got sat out the 1 year.
Oh, well, okay, I see what you're saying. Now, like I said, the one thing that I think that MLB probably got it right is just in the fact that if you look at Twitter, half of Twitter says this was too much, this was too excessive. The other half of Twitter saying this wasn't enough. So I feel like if you're laying in that common ground, if you have the crowd split, you're probably somewhere in a safe common ground. So I feel like maybe MLB did get it right here.
I just don't see where you think they could have got. Anyone can think they got it wrong because you got to be harsh on this. They cheated, and they cheated. I mean, they used technology to steal signs. They used technology to steal signs. I don't know what else you can say. I mean, and then the Red Sox, from a guy who was in that same organization, did the same thing. I don't see how Alex Cora is not going to get a worse punishment than them because he is in 2 different ones. He's won 2 World Series championships that are kind of going to have an asterisk next to them now. So I think it's kind of a crazy day for baseball. It's a suspension like we've never seen in baseball before.
Not since Pete Rose back in the 80s and 90s.
A team like the Astros, who just almost won a World Series, has their coach fired, their GM fired, They're going to have to retool the front office and see where they go from here. It's a crazy thing to think of.
People can say this, like a lot of people say, well, if you were an Astros fan, you would think this. If the Cubs were doing this, I think they should all be punished the same way. Like, we've talked about this many a times. The use of technology is just kind of unnecessary. And, I would expect MLB to come down just as harshly on the Cubs or the White Sox or any other team if they're doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it
has nothing to do with who my allegiance lies with. Right is right,
taking
wrong is
signs
wrong.
From like the traditional stuff, you be able to see it, or you get like a tip or something. But to use technology in a way that is cheating, especially the one with I think it was the one with the Red Sox. They did it only or was it the Astros? Only did it in the regular season because Major League Baseball had people on duty during the playoffs, during the games.
It's the Red Sox. We just talked about that one last week.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that, that's cheating. Like
they knew they could get away with it.
If you have to stop doing something,
it's
wrong. So
yep,
I think all the punishments perfect, and I'll be surprised. I'm excited to see what Alex Cora is.
What did you think about the fact that no players got suspended?
The only thing that it kind of got weird with is Carlos Beltran is now the New York Mets coach. I was going to bring this up, but I forgot. Is the New York Mets coach now. No players is going to be suspended, but he was on the team, knew of it. Who knows what his role was within the cheating scandal. But, yes, no players will be suspended, so he has no ties to it. In a way, so I guess just move on from there. But that's a little weird too.
But he better realize they're watching him, and he needs to be on his P's and Q's, because if he was involved in this, then they're going to be.
You would think that this has scared everyone away from it, because
100%.
If they're going to do this for the first guy, and now that you know about it, they are going to be even hard. Like I said, it's going to be surprising to see what happens to Cora and how bad they suspend him. So we'll have to see what goes on with that. You have never seen a suspension like this.
Well, we've never seen a violation of like this before.
But now you're being told that the suspension that you've never seen before is going to be greater now.
Yeah.
So
then your mind wanders. You're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. So you're gonna have to. It's gonna be crazy to see. The last thing we got here: Bulls go to Boston, play the Celtics. Right, that was in Boston, right?
I'm like 90. I didn't watch a second of that game, and
I just see it
Bulls were on the road. Zach LaVine with 30
points, a crazy dunk, amazing dunk. I think he is going
Daniel
to be.
Gafford got the start tonight.
Yeah.
That was nice to see. But Lowry Markkanen 9 points in 25 minutes.
Yeah,
he had the same amount as Dunn.
Kobe White 6 points in 23 minutes. 0 for 4 from 3-point line.
Jesus. Luke Cornett, 22 minutes, 0 points.
That's awesome.
That's
Ryan Arcidiacono, 13 minutes, 0 points.
Just bombs, dude. They
Thaddeus Young, 24 points off the bench, 17 points.
Yeah,
24 minutes. 24 minutes off the bench, 17 points, 8 for 14 from the field, efficient, and we got guys like Chris Dunn out here starting the game. 9 points on 30 minutes played.
Yeah. That's just
Sadaransky, 12 points. Like, come on. Zach can't do everything.
It's so bad, man. It's so bad. I want to talk about this. Chandler Hutchinson, 14 minutes, 2 points. Like, dude, it's just disgusting.
Look at this.
Is Denzel Valentine, what's his deal? He played 2 freaking minutes tonight.
5 points, though.
What the hell? Why can this guy not play even remotely close to a full season?
I think he's okay. It's just his coach isn't playing him.
I think he's just not good at basketball and he's fragile, but that's just my.
Well, I think that maybe if unless he's hurt or something, why don't we give him more minutes then? At least try.
Yeah, he's.
What are we giving Luke Cornett minutes for? He has 0 points, 21 minutes.
Yeah, you can't look me straight in the eye and tell me Luke Cornett is better at basketball than a healthy Denzel Valentine. Get out of here.
None of these stats right here look like anything that's going to be like a playoff team.
No,
nothing.
God,
nothing.
No. They still wouldn't even be in the playoffs in the G League, dude.
Just looking at the stats from that game made me so depressed right now.
Yeah, I had to exit out of the app. I'm just tired of looking at it.
Boomy, did you find a wacky web story
Of
for us?
course
I know
I did.
you
Of course I
forgot
did.
the one that you thought you had
Dude,
done
this is gonna
before.
drive me nuts.
Let's
Like
hear
I
it.
had a great one earlier and I didn't save it. But this takes us to a town of Flowood, Mississippi, where two of the dumbest criminals that we've talked about on this show decided they were going to win the lottery. And if you want to win the lottery, you got to come up with an elaborate scheme, right? There's been, instances where people have rigged the lottery so that they could win it. But like I said, Flowood, Mississippi, authorities in Mississippi say two men attempted to scam the state lottery of Mississippi Commission by submitting a losing ticket and claimed it was a winner. But how did they do that? Well, they glued on the winning numbers. Glue, like Elmer's glue.
So what did they do? Go buy like stickers?
So they were charged with offenses of uttering counterfeit instruments over $1,000. So they're actually arrested for this.
Well, yeah, you can't like try and get money.
Yeah, they altered $100,000 ticket to appear to have the winning lottery numbers
Oh
literally
my gosh.
glued onto this.
Imagine getting that ticket and like being like,
Dude,
"Are you
okay,
serious?"
like
you could probably
if you buy
smell
a
the
ticket,
glue.
you scan it, right? Like that's how you tell. Like if you won a ticket, you ever gone to the gas station, you scan the ticket and it says how much you won. So these idiots brought in like literally a glued on piece of paper with the winning numbers, scanned it, and it was like not a winner. And they're like, "What do you mean? I have the winning numbers right here."
What a bunch of morons.
And then like having to fix the numbers because the glue's running and you have to like hold it there. Like these guys are idiots. I think whatever crime or whatever punishment they're gonna get isn't good enough. This is absolute idiocy. But what do you expect out of guys named Otis and Russell? So
Just imagine thinking that's a good idea.
and it's not even
Like I'm an
OTTLS,
idiot. I'm an idiot.
ODIS.
But to think that you could glue these together and try and win $100,000 in something that is one of the hardest things to do in the world is to win the lottery.
Well, first of all, like, why are you aiming so high? If you want to try and pull off something like this, why not try like $1,000 ticket?
Maybe don't. Yeah, maybe
Or
not $100,000 or maybe $500 or something small.
You don't think they're gonna check that
Jeez,
before they go out $100,000? Tough day for guys named Otis, spelled ODIS. That's tough.
Tough day for those guys.
So instead of winning $100,000, they're gonna have to pay like $1,000 in fines.
Oh yeah, and also just had to be like, hey guys,
and walk around. I can't even imagine that they're the dumbest people in Flowood, Mississippi. But
I wonder
they're
if
gonna walk around and being like, those are the guys that tried to glue the lottery ticket.
That would be tough. That would be tough.
Imagine if that was like your MO as you drove around town and people just pointed. They're like, yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
That's the gluing the winning ticket guy.
I wonder if that's how they explained it in the police report, like in the paper the next day.
I just assume like police reports in Mississippi are like carved into a piece of wood.
I don't think that's. They have newspaper there.
I'm just
Boomy.
taking shots at Mississippi here.
Live a little, Boomy. Live a little.
I have. That's why I've been to Mississippi. That's why I'm taking the shots that I am.
Anything pre-show?
Man, not a whole lot.
Post-show. Pre-show. Post-show.
Yeah, I knew what you meant. No, it's too damn cold to.
College football is sadly over. Joe Burrow won the offensive MVP for the game.
Good for him.
I think he had 463 yards or something like that, 5 touchdowns.
I like Joe Burrow a lot, but the poor guy looks like Macaulay Culkin.
I think he's going to be able. Dave Portnoy tweeted this out tonight. I think he is maybe going to be able to fix the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he may be the guy for the job.
Well, he's Joe Burrow, not Jesus of Nazareth, so I don't know if that's possible.
My thing is he has the one trait that all quarterback needs. It seems like he cannot be phased.
Yeah,
and I understand it's only college football.
There's just so many. The problems in Cincinnati run so deep, dude. It's so bad there.
We'll have to just wait and see. Like I said,
it's going to be a while. I hope the kid can keep it together. After all he's went through with it at Ohio State and transfer portal and getting declined at Nebraska to come into what he did, to be able to go in and hopefully turn around one of the worst run organizations. Lastly, did you see the Bears hired a new offensive coordinator?
Yeah. Do you by chance have the name?
Let me see if I can find it here real quick. I do not have the name off the top of my head. But I did see that they hired.
Bill Lazor.
I don't know about. That's a great name.
Yes, he was. Who was he? Just offensive coordinator.
Wasn't
he
he
was
with
just offensive
the,
coordinator for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get Andy Dalton now. So yeah, Bears offensive coordinator, Bill Lazor. We'll see. Kind of a
Great name, but I mean, he was the offensive coordinator for the Bengals.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I wonder. Like
just
we've talked about all year about the play calling. I wonder how much of that he's going to get.
Yeah, we'll see. It's like I said, with having an offensive heavy head coach, the offensive coordinator is kind of we'll see what happens with it there. But yes, new offensive coordinator, Bill Lazor for the Chicago Bears, who sadly had a disappointing season, and now I have to talk about it again.
Sorry,
it's very depressing. A nice 8-8 for the season. We were 8-8.
Definition of average.
Definition of average. Did you by chance see at the halftime of the game the top 11 players?
I did not.
Not
once halftime hit, I switched over to Netflix.
Yeah, they were doing like the top 11 college players of all time. I think
of all
Is it
time.
all time or the deck? I thought it was all time.
I know they've been doing like this whole 150-year thing, so I'm assuming maybe it was all time.
Maybe it was
Tim Tebow, number 1.
Was that confirmed, or is that just a dumb Florida fan?
That's from my brain.
That's from your brain. Okay.
So yes, it is confirmed. Confirmed from my brain.
Well, thank you to our sponsors, The Muddy Otter. Go to themuddy.otter.com. Go to Facebook or Instagram. Hit them up if you got some customized stuff that you want, or if you just want to let them know about an order. Right here is a beautiful mug that you could probably find on the site. Typical Chicago fan logo on there. You can't find the typical Chicago fan logo. I know it's beautiful, but the mug with the Muddy Otter on the bottom right there. Go onto the website, look at the products they got on there, or if you if you want something customized or something, hit them up on Facebook or Instagram. The Muddy Otter, Hannah and Mitch Prentice. Also, Score Trader. Here is Pigoy with a little bit of an ad for us about was it the division round? How we did. We didn't win any money, but how you could maybe win some money next week with Score Trader.
Score Trader NFL divisional round update. Unfortunately for the TCF Chicago team, we did not end up cashing this week. We did have Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson, but our big play, George Kittle, did not come through for us. So we came up empty this week. But for those who were wondering what Score Trader is a free-to-play new daily fantasy sports app with an entirely different spin on how you draft your team, how you draft your players. It is a stock market model where you pick your players during the week and you can trade them if they have a profit throughout the week, or you can sell them off, or you wait until the game and let your players ride, and then the top 3 players from each position, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, get scored much like they would in a traditional fantasy sports scoring system. And if you end up owning more players that get scored than the other people in the competition, then you end up winning some money or have a chance to win some money. So go ahead and download that Score Trader app, and you can follow them at Score Trader app on Twitter and Instagram. Again, Score Trader, a very different but very fun look at daily fantasy sports, a stock market approach as opposed to a salary cap approach. Very fun. Go check that out. That's Score Trader app on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you to Score Trader for partnering with Typical Chicago Fans and the TCF Morning Show.
Thank you, Pigoy, for that ad read. Again, go to Score Trader. You can find them on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Score Trader, you can find all on all the social medias. They retweet all of our stuff for us. We love you guys. Go to the App Store, go to search bar, type in Score Trader, download the app. Free to play, win some money on the TCF boys. Again, this has been the TCF Morning Show, January 14th. Oh, Tuesday, January 14th. I have been joined by @BoomyTCF on Twitter. I am Zach at ZLiljatCF. That was weird to say. I am Zach. You can follow the main page at typical_Chicago, Instagram, Facebook. Just type in Typical Chicago Fans. You will find us on there. Follow us. We put all of our YouTube videos and our podcast on all of our social medias. Go to the YouTube page, subscribe, watch our videos, like the videos, comment on the videos. Go wherever you get your podcast from. Apple, Spotify, Spreaker. Type in Typical Chicago Fans. Subscribe, follow, rate, review. Anything else, Boomy?
That's about it, baby. Time for college basketball season.
Yeah, it's college basketball season because kind of more focused now with it getting into the late part of January, into February with March Madness right around the corner.
Right around the corner, baby.
College football sadly done for. Tonight was the last night was the last college football game. This has been the TCF Morning Show, Tuesday, January 14th. We love you all.
Peace.